Hi, everybody. This is Micah Lieberman coming at you from Scope, Voices of Scope. And hopefully we've seen each other in Europe in October, or we're going to see each other in February in Orlando at our big conference. It's great. Today, I always just talk to interesting people, and this is the best part of my job. Today, I have Dr. Artem Andrianov. He's the CEO and founder of Cyntegrity. He said to introduce him just as Artem because everybody knows him, but he's worked hard on his PhD. He deserves more than that. And he has on a really cool sweater today. That's pretty cool, man. I like that, Artem.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody, what we're doing today is Artem is interesting. So if you don't know Cyntegrity, I think most of you know them as an RBQM company. They're deeply an analytics and data science company. So you'll see some of their wording on their work and their posts and their publications on AI augmented RBQM with human in control oversight. Okay, that's that. Now, Artem, what we're talking about is those are big words. We're not talking about Cyntegrity. We're talking about you and your experience because you work with pharma, you work with CROs, you're all over the place. AI is huge. It's such a big topic at Scope. Marina's spending a lot of time on this. We're doing it in Boston as well. We do it in Europe. My audience, the people you work with, we know the same people. There's a lot of hype around AI. Let's talk about first what you're seeing, and let's start with impact. Instead of going from data science and the people in the trenches, let's start at the patients. What are you seeing? Tell us a little bit of what you're seeing and what knowledge you can impart on our audience on what is the impact on patients first. Then let's talk about getting into the trenches with our Clin Ops people.
Yeah, Micah, thank you very much for this question because it's very near to my heart. Everything that we do in terms of the technology at the end of the day should have positive impact on patients' life and patient safety for sure. And RBQM is all about it, in fact. So when we look at what is happening right now, there's very interesting trends which are developing literally almost in every clinical trial we observe. So AI is a hype in the sense that it kind of started to uncover the expertise knowledge for people who didn't have this opportunity to access this expertise. And the same happens for patients as well. So we started to notice that patients get much more knowledgeable in reading the protocols, understanding informed consents, without kind of additional help, so to say, unpacking what is inside of an informed consent, understanding the legal details of these documents, and taking much more informed decisions, either they join or not join clinical trials. So pharma is not able to hide behind legal language anymore. Not able to put some protective and maybe not really patient friendly clauses, because they very quickly get discovered and uncovered, so to say, by AI now. So patients started to get more informed, more expert informed in terms of the clinical trials. That's number one. Number two, there is a lot of discussions about opportunities now with vibe coding. And they kind of what you shared before, and I absolutely can confirm that it's now not a big problem for designing and creating useful mechanisms to transform, for example, the information, whatever clinicaltrials.gov capturing, into something useful for patients. So there are more and more startups appear like that. And even patients themselves with kind of experience and access to vibe coding, so to say, could do that. They could literally review the literature, understand the market, so to say, understand the situation, and then be much more proactive in addressing or connecting to those sites or those companies who are doing really research in the areas where patients are interested in.
Really quick, just because you and I had a conversation before I started recording, just to tell people what you and I are talking about is we talked before about that with AI, that I met with some people last week doing interesting work. They weren't pharma people. They were young people whose parents were diagnosed. They had an experience where these people are very technically savvy, not experts, but they're technically savvy. They tried to find a trial for their parent, their loved one. They went into clinicaltrials.gov, they pulled their hair out, and then they went out and basically figured out a way to do this. So that's, I just want to give reference. And it's a great story. It was probably a much more difficult thing to do 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So that is really good for patients and caregivers and people who want to find research more easily. So yeah, keep going, Artem. I just want to kind of clarify that for people.
That actually means that expertise is not even packaged somewhere anymore. It's available more or less for data managers, for project managers, and for patients, literally. And the boundaries, so to say, between the expertise areas are disappearing now.
Right.
So this is what happens, in fact, and that's why this hype is to some extent justified, because it's so revolutionary in the sense.
It is, and it's also for some people it's intimidating. All right, now you have a good segue. So let's now go down deeper into the trenches of kind of my scope audience and the people you work with, right? In pharma, small and large, biotech, CROs. The data managers, the ops people working with those data science and data managers, the analytics people, they're all working together. What are you seeing there? What are you seeing there?
So what we see is something which is very, very interesting in terms of the, again, AI accessing different systems and analyzing the data, which was never really well designed or well packaged. Yeah, we always kind of complained about it. Yeah, that the data standards are not there yet. But in fact, if you look, AI was trained on diverse data. It is nature of, for example, LLMs to understand diverse information. Yeah, and suddenly it starts kind of being useful, particularly in the clinical trials domain, where you have multiple solutions which are usually not connected together, but you need to export the information and then do some sort of activities around them. And AI is a wonderful assistant in this sense, because it has already pre-trained medical background. It has already understanding about, for example, protocol, if we have uploaded it before. And then suddenly many tasks which we've been doing manually becoming automatizable. Yeah, just a simple example. Yeah, we're working on protocol deviations. So it is in many companies a still manual task. Yeah, the CRAs, data managers are involved into this process, analyzing the data from different systems and identifying protocol deviations. Now suddenly it becomes solvable through AI, because it can kind of consume different variabilities in information and still interpret even something which is written in comments. Yeah. So it kind of becomes a kind of flexible, programmable protocol deviation detection in a sense. The same happening for server-side edit checks. Yeah, we were investing a lot of time and effort in building infrastructures, validating that. Now it goes down to prompt engineering all. So prompt engineering replaces complicated programming we were doing in the server-side edit checks, for example.
Right.
So it becomes accessible for project managers. It becomes accessible and readable and understandable for many other stakeholders. And the complexity of it disappears step by step. Yeah. So that's actually what, and many other elements and tasks, so to say, which were time consuming and required, so to say, high density of expertise, suddenly becomes solvable through AI solutions.
And that, I think, is a good way to end this, because I think what you just said is really interesting, and it's something we talked a lot about at Scope. We have the people who are the experts, but they are now, you only have so many of these people in a large organization. And you have many project teams coming to them saying, help me solve my problem with your data science magic. And more now, what you just said is this ability is now accessible by people at the project level. And
Yep.
that's amazing. It's a great power, right? And then they can do it well. There's people are intimidated. So sometimes within the company, you have people saying, here's how we're going to do it. Start experimenting, see what comes back. Don't believe everything that comes back, but start doing it, start using the tools. That's empowering, right? I don't want to use the, democratization. It's another buzzword,
Yeah.
but it is. So,
Yes.
all right, this is cool. This is really cool. I want to keep talking, but we're limited to 10 minutes because of
Yeah.
how much time we have. But this is really cool. And I'm glad we started, and I'm glad you suggested starting with impact on the patient. Let's not forget what it's all about, man. So, Artem, good to see you. I do love your sweater. I hope you wear that at Scope. It'll be February in Florida, so I don't think you're going to want to wear a sweater, but maybe you can get sport jacket made or something like that. You never know. It's good to see you, and I'll
Yeah.
see you in a few months.
Look forward to the February meeting with everybody, and thank you for having me here. And yeah, really appreciate. Thank you, Micah. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, Artem. Okay,
Yeah.
have a good one.
Bye.